Now at 6, a head-on collision in southwest Missouri claims the lives of 3 people. Plus, an area town struggles with a boil water order but had no way to get the information out. We're going to tell you why. And we take another look at how the 4 states brings power to the people with natural gas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
3 people are dead from a head-on collision in McDonald County, Missouri. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Happened shortly after 9:30 last night on US 71 near Brush Creek Road in Pineville. Troopers say 29-year-old Kyler Johnson from Washburn was heading south when he traveled into the northbound lane and struck another vehicle head-on. Johnson, along with both of his passengers, 58-year-old Joseph Lynch from Powell and a 15-year-old from Washburn, all died at the scene. A 17-year-old from Neosho was driving the second vehicle. She was flown to Freeman Hospital in Joplin in serious condition. The Southwest Missouri community has regained internet access after losing it for almost 48 hours. KOAM's Jalen Banks shares with us what that experience was like.
We live in a time where the use of internet and our cell phones is very prevalent and part of our everyday lives. And one Missouri town wasn't able to use either for over 24 hours. Sheldon, Missouri was without internet, limiting most communication, forcing them to end school early for the day, leaving one mother in the dark on the matter.
It was really crazy. I had messages that I couldn't receive. The school let out early, but with my cell phone not working and not having internet, I had no idea that my children were coming home early until a friend happened to come by and tell me.
With the internet down, it caused issues for Town Hall.
From what I understand from a CenturyLink representative, there was a line cut over by South Greenfield, so that affected all of us. We had some water issues here in town, and we have a Facebook page that we use to communicate with the town. Well, if the internet's not working, you can't get the message out to everybody.
The city realizes just how important internet is.
You know, many years ago when we didn't have the internet or cell phones, we rely on technology so much nowadays, so when it's out, it does create a big impact.
Credit and debit card machines are down, emails and other daily functions. Fingers crossed it doesn't go down again.
It was just a little bit nuts. The kids were not able to do what they needed to do for school. They weren't able to entertain themselves the way they normally do. And so it was an interesting day.
In Sheldon, Missouri, Jalen Banks.
During the internet outage, the only form of communication available was landline phones, like the olden days. Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a great Wednesday. Weather-wise, we have plenty of sunshine. Temperatures not bad. Of course, it's hot. It's not super hot by any means, but clear skies, not much going on. In fact, the entire Central Plains, we have clear skies. Temps pretty comfy. 79 in Monette, we have 82 Miami, 83 in Pittsburgh, still 90 in Neosho. So about a 10-degree swing across the 4-state area. Let's go through the evening. If you're going to be outside, it's going to be nice. We're going to be sitting into the 80s. Then a quick drop, 66 by midnight, 61 by 6 a.m. and overnight low of 60 degrees. We're going to have clear skies throughout the overnight hours. We're going to look at the forecast, rain chances, even high school football forecast. All coming up here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. The Missouri 4-H Foundation recognizes individuals who've created a legacy of service to 4-H by honoring them with membership into the Missouri 4-H Hall of Fame. And one of the newest Hall of Fame inductees, Lori Myers of Sarcoxie, shares the credit for her accomplishment.
We were surprised. I think our Parents Association and Bob McNary had a lot to do with that, and I believe that's just from working with that group throughout the years, doing the different things that we have done.
Lori has been a project leader and club leader of the Sarcoxie Chiefs 4-H. Our congratulations to her. A local Ford Model T club today kicked off its Southeast Kansas tour. The Hillbilly Tour is hosted by the Heart of the Ozarks chapter of the Model T Ford Club of America. Drivers are cruising around Pittsburgh today to showcase their classy cars. A driver says their goal is to keep the car in people's memories.
It's just nostalgia again. I mean, this is the car of the century, last century obviously. They've made 15 million of them. It made Ford famous. It's just a unique vehicle that we don't want to fade into history, so we're trying to keep it alive.
The Hillbilly Tour ends on September 10th. Coming up, the 4 states brings power to the people with natural gas. We're going to tell you exactly how. Plus, more than 100 people compete in the Southeast Kansas golf competition. Electricity is something many of us take for granted. You flick on a switch, the light comes on, but how does that power get to you? Well, in tonight's special report, Power to the People, KOAM's Chris Warner tells us about one of the 4 major power sources in the 4 states.
It's pretty noisy here at Liberty Utilities State Line Power Facility on the far western edge of Joplin. Plant manager Brian Bergstresser says that noise is from the process taking place here to generate the electricity that reaches your home.
So we take a lot of fuel and a lot of air, put that together in a controlled manner and make a fire, and then that goes out over a series of turbine wheels which drives the shaft that it's attached to, which goes back to a generator. Then that generator makes electricity.
Bergstresser says there are 2 types of units at State Line. Both produce electricity, both use natural gas to do that, but how they do it is just a little different.
We have a combined cycle and a simple cycle unit here. The simple cycle, just like I said, blows through, exhausts out the back end at over 1,000 degrees. The combined cycle does the same process, but then takes that waste heat of 1,000 degrees and uses that to heat up water and then steam, and then that energy drives a steam turbine, which also has a generator attached to it.
The State Line facility is one of 2 natural gas plants right here in our area, with the other one located in Riverton.
We are the largest plant on our footprint. Even though we're joint owned, it's still 600 megawatts that goes out, and that can supply basically the whole city of Joplin and then some.
That's 600 million watts generated from this plant alone every hour. It takes 29 people to man this plant, with even fewer on duty at one time to ensure it runs smoothly. That number is small for a plant this size, thanks in part to how it's controlled.
Yeah, obviously this distributed control system, we acronym everything, so we call it a DCS. It has gone through a series of upgrades, the last one in 2012, bigger processors, and we monitor over 3,000 points at all times here with this system. Probably have about 10,000 points out in the plant we're looking at.
During the winter storm in February of 2021, demands on the power grid increased dramatically. Now, to help with that demand, Liberty, along with the majority of electric providers in our area and across the Midwest, are part of a special organization.
There's something called a reserve sharing group that we're a member of, and we all agree that if one of the other members has a problem, we can turn on in a very short amount of time and help that other person out.
That group is known as the Southwest Power Pool, which we'll learn more about in another one of our special reports. Bergstresser adds that group also steps in during planned outages for repair work at the power plants and can step in if a utility company has an unexpected failure to ensure customers never notice anything went wrong. During the winter storm and during any major weather event, Bergstresser says they always examine how the plant performed.
We've spent the last 20 years, every time there's bad weather, whether it's hot or cold, what failed, how do we make it better? What looked like it was going to fail, how do we make it better? How do we avoid those problems going forward?
Bergstresser says the answers to those questions have led to improvements and enhancements at plants across the grid to ensure they can keep up with energy demand. In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Liberty Utilities also uses wind power to generate electricity. Tomorrow night, we're going to wrap up our series with a look at the Southwest Power Pool and the impact it has on our local utilities. Still ahead, we're going to check out the Southeast Kansas golf competition in Pittsburgh.
Plus, we're going to start warming up a bit the next few days. We'll look at rain chances as well coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Plenty of sunshine across the region. Temperatures great. Most of us mid 80s. Some of us a little bit warmer than that. You're looking at a live shot of Lander Chevrolet Tower Cam. We're looking at I-44 moving pretty good. Of course, eastbound, then you got westbound traffic, but clear skies across the region. All right, this summer we hit 122 times, which is kind of crazy. The most we've ever done that is 39, set back in 1954. The new pattern is almost set, which I'm pretty excited about. So once that occurs here in about 2 weeks, then we can get a pretty good idea of what the fall, winter, spring, and even next summer we'll start to look at. Like temperatures across the metro, most of us are sitting low to mid 80s, so it looks pretty good. It's still a little bit hotter once you get out into our western counties. Neodesha, Independence, 89, Miami is sitting at about 82 degrees. 7th and Rangeline checking in at 84. Northerly winds are light, humidity at 44%. Through the evening, we'll continue to drop back through the 80s, 60s, clear skies eventually, all the way down to about 60 for an overnight low, which is nice and comfortable. Nothing going on here. Clear skies across the region, clear skies across Central Plains. Any rain, you got a track to our south. We are still dominated by this big dome of high pressure, so it shoves the jet stream all the way up into Canada and then kind of drops back through the Great Lakes. So this system is going to rotate around the high. This little tropical moisture, those two combined will actually try to at least give us some scattered showers by the time we head into Saturday night and into Sunday. Look at Kay spinning right off the coast of Baja California. So the tropics have been pretty quiet through this year, but there is a hurricane down toward Baja California. All right, let's go through time during the overnight hours tonight. We'll stop at 6 a.m. Temps near 60, very comfortable. Sunny skies through the morning hours, warm into lower 80s by noon. As we get into the afternoon, upper 80s to lower 90s again. So very similar to what we had today, maybe a notch or two hotter. 60 to start, 83 by noon, high temp of 88, easterly winds light at 5 to 10. Still the humidity is fairly low, so it's going to feel fine. By the time we head into Friday morning, temperatures lower 60s, again Friday. Plenty of sunshine as we warm. Upper 80s to near 90. And then if we go into the evening hours, you can see we're sitting kind of in lower 80s. This is 7:30 p.m. So of course at this time, we got football, high school football kicking off. So if we look at the forecast, it looks good. We're going to have great weather. 86 at kickoff, 81 by halftime of most games. So it's going to be warm, but at least the weather looks great for high school football. 88 tomorrow, 90 on Friday. 93 Saturday. We may get some scattered showers, scattered thunderstorm in here Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then we cool back down. Look at the overnight lows down into the mid 50s, highs into lower 80s to start next week.
Oh, I'm loving the temps, and if we get a little bit of rain on Sunday, so much the better.
Yeah, we need it.
You bet. Thanks, Doug. More than 100 people gathered at the Four Oaks Golf Course in Pittsburgh today to participate in the regional golf competition. That competition was for students and for adults. Unified teams also competed. The teams consisted of students with and without disabilities.
So this is a great time for them to reconnect with each other, but a great time to celebrate each other. Everybody that comes out here, they love it because even if they don't win, they're so happy for everyone who does win. So it's a great atmosphere, great camaraderie, and great competition.
The event is part of the Unified Schools program that helps reduce bullying and increase inclusion. Still ahead, a pair of Joplin High School wide receivers are off to a hot start this fall, and the Missouri Southern Lions prepare to hit the road against Northeastern State. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Missouri Southern Lions hit the road this weekend for the first time this season. The Lions traveled to Tahlequah, Oklahoma on Saturday to face the Northeastern State Riverhawks. Now, both of these teams 0-1 heading into the weekend. Last week, Southern fell to Nebraska Kearney 24-7 in their season opener. In that game, though, they were down just 3 with 10 minutes to go. Now, Southern knows if they want to compete with the best teams in the MIAA, those types of games, the games they're going to have to finish in the future.
Part of it's being there. The one thing I don't want to do is take away from Nebraska Kearney's defense. I thought they did a great job. I thought they were physical at the point of attack and they were tough to move. But I think the MIAA in general, the top teams are so established that they've played so many close games. They're comfortable in close games, especially when you talk about a team like Kearney that runs the ball so much. They're used to that. We still haven't learned to be comfortable in tight games, and not just be comfortable, but be excited about tight games, to operate at a higher level in close games. And it's a tough lesson, but it's a lesson we're learning, and hopefully when the next one comes, we'll be ready for it.
The Joplin Eagles are 2-0 to begin the football season. The Eagles will try to stay hot this week, hitting the road to face Ozark on Friday. In these first two games, though, Joplin has a pair of wide receivers who have already become a big-time 1-2 punch in senior Terrence Gibson and sophomore Davin Thomas. Now, Gibson has 129 yards receiving to go along with 2 touchdowns. Now, Thomas, the sophomore, really been a breakout star for the Eagles. He's racked up 196 yards and 4 touchdowns in just 2 games for Joplin.
We saw his track speed, last spring, and he had a good freshman season. So it was just a matter of the summer, seeing what he could do, and he proved early on in the summer that, he belonged on the field.
I was just really excited to play and just show what I can do everywhere. I think my speed has been helping me a lot. That's what's been getting me in the end zone.
His speed is something serious. I've really seen speed from a guy like him. He can get in and out of breaks, beat corners, beat safeties over the top. He's really good.
The St. Louis Cardinals host the Washington Nationals tonight for Game 3 of their 4-game series. The two teams have split the first 2 games of the series. The Cardinals kind of on a roll right now, winning 8 of their last 10 games. Tonight's game begins at 6:45. I have the latest from this one right here tonight at 10. The Kansas City Royals also in action tonight. The Royals try to avoid the 3-game sweep in the finale against the Guardians. First pitch for that one will be at 7:10. So ever since I started this job, Joplin always has nice running backs, nice wide receivers, plenty of offensive weapons. This year it appears no different than the years past. Plenty of speed, plenty of size out there too.
Just keeping on. Sure. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Leonard Gifford served in the U.S. Army. The Garnett, Kansas native was stationed in Normandy. And we're proud to salute Private First Class Leonard Gifford, our 4-state hero. Of course, you can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area. We also invite you to submit a hero of your own anytime. We all know veterans are currently serving service members. Just drop us a line. Click on the link, KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Construction begins on a new fire station in Joplin. Plus, a local bookstore makes a donation to the Dunaweg Education Center. And lawmakers on Capitol Hill start working on a stopgap measure to avoid a government shutdown. Those stories, a lot more, of course. It's all coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The overnight lows are getting downright chilly, Doug.
Yeah, we're going to be dropping back right around 60 for us tonight. 88 tomorrow, 90 on Friday. Temperature is pretty good. We do heat up a little bit as we head into the weekend, and then a chance for a few showers and cooling back down just a bit by Sunday.
Final sports notes.
Episode 2 of our Pigskin podcast is out right now. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or our website. So all you got to do, KOAM presents Pigskin podcast. You'll find it.
Nice.
Because it's everywhere. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.